So coming off Distortions, you're officially in the band. And again, I liken Distortions to Blink's Untitled, where it's just kind of outside the box. Like you guys felt like you needed to experiment. And from my standpoint, bands can do whatever the fuck they want. So I'm totally cool with it. The follow-up to that. So there's a little bit of change. You're in the band. Matt Powles joins the band kind of unofficially for a brief period of time. But the next kind of song we get out of that is STFU, absolute banger. And this leads right into the self-titled album, where my understanding is there's a conscious effort in some capacity to get back to what you know best, like a pop punk. I hate saying it that way, but I guess what you know best. What is that discussion like, I guess, within the band? I mean, it comes time to write new material. Like, is there focus on heavier riffs? Like, what is that discussion like from your standpoint?
I think those discussions are always spread out. I think they're always just like something that we discuss over long periods of time. It's never really like, let's sit down and figure this out. It kind of is just in conversation, in life, in experience, that these things come up, you know, when we're on tour or whatever, and we're talking about it. But I don't know, like, I think it was the reaction to ADAI, and whether that's fan reaction or it's COVID reaction or things like that. But it was like, yeah, there was definitely an intention to go back to what we do best, while also still moving forward without just writing Life's Not Out to Get You again. Like, we wanted to do that, but yeah, maybe heavier, maybe, I don't know, man. It's doing what we do best. I think that was also something that, I don't know if it was ever like discussed in a deep way, but just we all kind of knew. Like ADAI, we felt like we were trying to push the envelope. Like, we were trying to be different. We were trying to like go against our instincts in a way. So yeah, it was, like I said before, with ADAI being a stepping stone, it was a necessary stepping stone for that, or, you know, in no derogatory, like, get it out of our system, but like it led to come back around. And that was it. Like, we didn't want to write another record, one that fans weren't super into, or seemingly not super into at the time, but like we also didn't want to, I don't know, like, I think, go against our instincts and like deny ourselves something. So it was like, let's just do what we're good at. Like, we know what we're good at and we enjoy writing it. Like I'm pop punk through and through. Like, I know pop punk's like, it can be kind of like a lame thing or a lame term, and like, yo, don't get me wrong, like there is a lot of lame pop punk. Like, there is,
for sure.
yeah, man, it's so easy to be cringy when you write pop punk music, and you know, that's a fine line we walk too, and like what the balance of like cringy and cheesy is, because, you know, sometimes cheesy's good and sometimes cringy's good and sometimes cringy's funny, but like that's still the balance to walk. But like pop punk music to me is the, like, I don't know, it's in my DNA. Like I said at the start of this, like the first things I ever learned on guitar and played on guitar was Blink. There was not much outside of pop punk and punk rock that I ever really learned or even cared to learn on guitar. So yeah, it's you know, but we're all different people. There's a lot of different influences in the band. Like I say, Ben is into like folk music or like soulful music like that, or like indie kind of music. Sam likes pop music. I like pop music too, but like Sam likes a lot of pop music. West is like super hardcore and listens to like crazy hardcore bands. Powell's likes metal music. So it's just this blending of things while trying to remember what the core strand of DNA of like Neck Deep is. And, you know, outside of music, like the core strand of DNA of Neck Deep for me for a long time has been not thinking you're better than anyone else, or like not, you know, we're losers too, like, or whatever, you know, not calling other people losers, but like we're the same people as the people that come to our shows. Like, we are also those people that at one point fucking loved, not that we don't love music, but, you know, go to shows and fucking buy merch and buy albums and all the rest. So like, I don't know. I think that I try and keep that DNA when it comes like it's talking about being cringy or cheesy or whatever else, is like, I don't know, not taking ourselves too seriously. is another one too, and that's it with pop punk too. Like, it's not that serious. Like, but you know, again, it's a balance, and it's who we are. And like, Ben is like pretty political and like has strong values and morals and wants to talk about that stuff. And again, that's punk rock too. Like, punk rock is political. Punk rock is values and morals and standing up for what you believe in. So yeah, crazy little soup of influences and values and morals and things like that. But to come back around, I don't know if there was any like intentional conversation or like anything that I can pinpoint, other than just lots of little mini conversations throughout the year of, yeah, how the last record did and what we want to do next. And we're always kind of talking about that. Like, even, you know, straight after we finished the self-titled record, we were like, oh, let's go, let's do more. We're not trying to sit around and just wait. So yeah, we're already writing new stuff and working on new things, and we're stoked.
You mentioned going with your instincts. One of the things that's really interesting to me, just in how these albums get made and shaped. My understanding is when it first came time to write and record this, you guys fly out to California, you're working with a producer, and ultimately there's a period of time that passes and somebody says, this isn't working too great. We need to self-produce this. Is that something where, did you get roped into that? Or is it something where you're like, I can produce all this from the comfort of our homes and hometown? Like, how did that play out?
Yeah, I definitely wasn't like roped into it. Like, we all knew. We all knew, and it was, I always want what's best for the band. Like, it's never, you know, there's never any egos. There's never any like, well, I want to do it because I want to do it. It's like, I want to do it because I know that's what's best for everyone. But yeah, there was, we spent a few weeks doing the record, and it just wasn't going how we wanted it to go, and it wasn't sounding how we wanted it to sound. And you know, no one cares more about our music than we do, and we recognize that with everyone. Like, any producer you go to, like, they're, as much as they do become the extra member and, you know, they can say all the right things, is like, no one's going to care as much detail as we're going to care. But it was awkward. It was awkward. It was uncomfortable for weeks. So it was weird. And then, yeah, to have to pull the plug and be like, let's start again. But ultimately, it was worth it, and we knew it was the right thing to do. And we made the record that we wanted to make. And it was fun. It was good. And we did it like, it was like doing wishful thinking again. Like, we just did it with me and us in a room and piecing it together bit by bit. And we got there in the end. I don't know, like, it's kind of stressful for me at points. Like, it's kind of hard wearing both hats. Like, before I was in Neck Deep, I was just producer. So it was like, cool, when my work's done, I'm done. Whereas that was like, I'm producing and I'm taught, you know, and I've got to tour these songs and all the rest of it. And there was a point when, like, when we first went into it, I was like, I'll mix it too. And then halfway through the record, I was like, I do not want to hear these songs anymore. Like, someone else needs to take over and do this, because I'll just fuck this up if I have to listen to these songs again. But I feel like that, like, I think a lot of artists are like that, of like, when one thing is finished, it's like, let's move on to the next, and like, kind of bored of it already, or like, you've just heard it so many times that it loses its meaning to you, and loses, like, you lose perspective on what you're doing. And then it's only when the record comes out that you kind of get some of that perspective back and get some of the meaning back, when other people hear it and tell you how they interpret it, or, you know, what their favorite songs are.
Self-titled drops just over a year ago, really. How did you guys feel about the fan reception on this one? Because, dude, I saw nothing but just glory on this. A killer album, man. Like, blew away my expectations. Just such an amazing album, dude. When I got that Apple Music replay, I was laughing. It's #1 artist, Neck Deep. Top 10 songs are the 10 from that album. Like, #1 album easily. How did you guys feel about it?
Yeah, relieved after a few years of, like, the record before that being ADAI, and like having mixed reviews and torn opinions on it. It's nice to be validated, man. It's nice to know you still got it in a way, and nice to know, like, cool, we can still do this. And glad that we know who we are, and we've always known who we are. But yeah, it's very nice to see the love for that record. But like I was just saying with I'm sure most artists is like we always think we can do better. So we're always on to like the next thing. And we were like that immediately. And we basically did that record twice. We did a bunch of that record with one producer and then started again. So it's like the perspective thing again of like, are these even good? Like, yes, they're good. Like people tell us they're good. We're happy with them, but like we know that we've still got a lot of gas in the tank, and even the handful of songs that we're working on now are like, cool. These are better. They're better again. They're in a similar vein, um, maybe a little heavier, maybe a little, I don't know, maybe a little punkier. I don't know. It's still very early days, but yeah, we have a few quote unquote finished like demo forms that we really like. One of those songs is we've had that for a while. Like we had it when we were writing. When did we do it? Yeah, it must have been around self-titled that we. So one of these songs we've been working on, we've had for like 2-3 years, but coming back to it a couple of years later, fresh ears, new takes, like starting again on vocals. But yeah, we're stoked, man. We're chipping away and yeah, happy with everything so far, and it's pretty chilled, like to get it done.